Less than a week after the FDA approved a booster shot for the Pfizer vaccine, county leaders are getting ready to administer it here locally. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Marcella Lee. News 8's Shannon Handy explains who can get a booster shot and whether or not it differs from the original doses. Shannon?
Carlo and Marcella, county leaders wanted to remind people that when it comes to the booster shot, there are eligibility requirements. They also reiterated today, if you're not vaccinated, get the vaccine.
Our approach has been steady, strong, and effective, and this new authorization for the booster shot is another step, a continuation of that effort.
County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says while San Diego's COVID cases are down since the summer surge, those eligible should get a booster shot. Last Wednesday, the FDA authorized the use of a single booster shot, but only for the Pfizer vaccine.
If shot 1 and shot 2 were Pfizer, then you are eligible if you are in certain categories.
According to the CDC, those categories are as follows. People who should get the booster include anyone 65 and older, residents 18 and over in long-term care settings, and people age 50 to 64 with underlying medical conditions like cancer and diabetes. Those who may get the booster shot are as follows. People age 18 to 49 with underlying medical conditions, and those age 18 to 64 who have an increased risk to COVID because of their job.
If you meet these criteria and previously received your Pfizer vaccine and it has been 6 months since you completed that second Pfizer shot, then you are eligible.
As for where to go, options include your doctor's office, one of 254 pharmacies within the county offering the booster, or a county vaccination site, all of which are listed on the county's website. You'll need your vaccine card or a copy or picture of it, and appointments are suggested. County leaders say there is more than enough supply to go around, though they caution only those who are eligible should get a booster shot. In regards to how it differs from your first 2 shots, Public Health Officer Dr. Wilma Wooten says it doesn't.
There is no difference between the original Pfizer and the 2 doses and the booster. So we're using the same vaccination or vaccine to boost the original vaccine, full course.
County leaders also said today while there are no immediate plans to set up mass booster sites, they are ready to meet the need if more people become eligible.
Thank you, Shannon. The San Diego Unified School Board will meet tomorrow to consider mandating vaccines for staff and eligible students. The proposal led to a lot of public interest, and many people want to weigh in at the district's next board meeting, but the district has moved it from an in-person meeting to online. They say the move is due to COVID-19 concerns. The mandate is similar to one passed by LA Unified earlier this month. It requires students 12 and older be vaccinated for in-person learning.
The search for answers continues tonight at Petco Park following the tragic deaths of a mother and her 2-year-old son.
They fell from the 3rd deck of the ballpark Saturday afternoon just as the Padres game was about to start. As News 8's Steve Price explains, there were several witnesses, but they are telling very different stories.
A horrific tragedy at Petco Park just before the start of Saturday's Padres game. A mom and her 2-year-old child fell from the 3rd deck, the equivalent of a 6-story fall, and landed on the sidewalk below. First responders tried to save them, but they died at the scene.
We have a lot more questions at this point than answers.
Police are calling the death suspicious, and it's being investigated by the homicide team. But at this point, authorities say they don't know if it was accidental or intentional. Multiple witnesses tell News 8 that from what they saw, this does not appear to be an accident. I spoke with a witness who was walking across this bridge Saturday when it happened. He is still so distraught that he declined a request to speak on camera. But he says that what he saw was the woman tucked over as she was falling. In fact, he says he didn't even realize she had a child until after she hit the ground. He also says that he noticed there was no screaming from anyone, either before or during the fall. But other witnesses believe the child was in the process of falling over the rail and the mother fell while trying to save him. City officials say Petco Park security system did not catch the incident on video. Meanwhile, police say they have identified the victims. The 40-year-old mother and her 2-year-old son were both from San Diego. but authorities still need to notify next of kin before releasing their names. Police confirmed the child's father was at the game and has been questioned.
We are speaking to the father of the child. They were not married.
The Padres have not said if there are any plans to raise the railings around the ballpark, but the team does not have any more home games this season. This is the first time anything like this has happened at the facility, which opened in 2004. Investigators tell News 8 they are hoping to release more information tomorrow.
It's a tragic event. We feel horrible for the families here. Our hearts obviously go out to the family members.
Police believe some witnesses, traumatized by what they saw, left before officers arrived. If you have any information about this tragedy, you are asked to call San Diego Police, or you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. In the East Village, Steve Price, News 8.
The suspect has been identified in a series of catalytic converter thefts in Claremont Mesa.
As News 8's David Gottfredson reports, police identified the man with the help of people posting their surveillance videos on the neighborhood social media site Nextdoor.
A suspected thief caught on surveillance video in early September prowling the neighborhoods of Claremont Mesa and Bay Park. He's targeting Toyota Priuses to rip off their catalytic converters and cash in on the platinum and other precious metals inside the smog devices attached to the exhaust system underneath the cars. Theft victims started comparing surveillance videos on Nextdoor and noticed the same man driving a dark blue Mini Cooper. He kept on popping up on various ring cam videos. Days later, a neighbor spotted the Mini Cooper driving through the neighborhood and chased him down, getting the license plate number and reporting it to San Diego police, according to posts on Nextdoor. Then came news of an arrest emailed from SDPD to one of the victims. Due to the video evidence you provided and the community help we have received from your additional posting on Nextdoor to encourage community members to reach out to me, we have made an arrest and impounded the suspect vehicle. One Prius owner in the area told News 8 it cost her $3,000 to get her catalytic converter replaced and another $350 to get a cat shield installed on the bottom of her car to prevent future thefts. Local mechanics say they have seen a recent spike in vehicles that have been hit.
Just last week, there were about 4 cars in total that had their catalytic converters stolen, 3 Priuses, and then 1 big truck. So they're getting ripped out pretty good.
The service manager at Holmberg Automotive in Kearney Mesa says it might be worth it to get a cat shield installed if you can't park your Prius in a garage at night.
I mean, initially, if someone looks under there and sees that they're not able to cut it out as easily, I'm sure it deters them.
Now, late this afternoon, San Diego police identified the suspect, Oscar Romero Hernandez, age 34, was arrested Thursday in Claremont Mesa. He's facing grand theft, vandalism, possession of drugs, resisting arrest charges. He is in custody and he is set to be arraigned in downtown court tomorrow. Carlo?
David, $3,000 or $4,000 for one part for these catalytic converters to get them replaced. In some cases, that actually might be worth more than the actual vehicle.
That's right, and in that case, the vehicle ends up getting totaled by the insurance company, and the owner has to pay the deductible and ends up having to buy either a new or a used car.
Just a really bad situation to be a victim of that. All right, David Gottfredson reporting live. Thanks, David.
What a way to start on Monday, seeing a pretty dreary start to the week. But is that gloom going to stick around very long?
Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is here now with a first look at your microclimate forecast. Carlene?
It's at least going to stick around through the middle of the week. So this is the view above that cloud cover, that stubborn marine layer for today, looking south from Palomar Mountain. So we have mostly cloudy skies, and for downtown, 67 degrees. We have some light winds out of the west-northwest. We're at 8 miles per hour. We did actually squeeze out some measurable rainfall for today, and not only the highest rainfall total in San Diego County, but in all of Southern California for today for La Jolla. That was at 0.07 of an inch. We also had 0.04 of an inch for Mount Woodson, so a little slippery out there, Potato Chip Rock, and then also talking about 0.01 of an inch, and that was for Ramona as well as Poway. So we are sticking around with the cloud cover at least going into the middle of the week, still with those dreary conditions because of a trough of low pressure that's over the west. We also have some hazy skies to talk about for Tuesday and some Santa Ana winds that look to return, but they're also going to bring a lot of heat. So don't get used to these below seasonal temperatures. We're going right back into those 80s and 90s. Ooh, we got a no at the desk. 80s and 90s starting on Thursday.